What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Tenet video. It's been a while since I posted a Tenet video, as there has not been much news besides the release date being pushed back to July the 31st. Cinemas are open in the UK on July 4th, so I'm super hyped to finally go back to the cinema. However, recently Christopher Nolan and the cast have had a huge interview and feature with Entertainment Weekly, so let's break that down as some major theories have been confirmed. As always, if you like the video, then please do drop a like down below and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video. There will be some light spoilers for the movie, so this is your warning. We know that inversion is the way that time is being a huge part of the movie, and how time travel, or at least time travel in quotations, is being used, but don't call it time travel or Nolan will actually bop you on the head. We theorised on this channel that entropy was being messed with in some way. This is a result of someone working out how to actually put a theory called Maxwells Demon into practice. The definition of entropy in thermodynamics is that such a system is one in which the volume, number of molecules and internal energy are fixed, the microcanonical ensemble. The most general interpretation of entropy is a measure of our uncertainty about a system. The Maxwell's Demon theory was actually shown in the trailer, where it shows two boxes with matter going into each other's box. In as simple as I can put it, the matter of an object can sort of be put back to normal. Time works as an arrow constantly going forward at the moment, but if someone can manipulate entropy, they can reverse objects from being destroyed or even something bigger. Christopher Nolan had this to say on the matter, no pun intended. This is not a time travel film. It deals with time and the different ways in which can function. Not to get into a physics lesson, but inversion is this idea of material that has had its entropy inverted, so it's running backwards through time relative to us. So this means instead of the objects degrading or a cup of coffee cooling down, this is actually reversed. We know that Kenneth Branagh's Russian can predict the future. If he is able to change the entropy, then he can actually reverse time or objects, which means he can actually happen to see what would happen to the world. Absolutely insane. So about what this could be, or what this actual thing that Tenet are trying to stop, Branagh had this to say. A nuclear holocaust is not the greatest disaster that could befall the human race. Tenet discusses an even worse possibility, and it is wrapped up in this mind-boggling treatment of time that continues Chris Nolan's preoccupations in films way back to Memento. That is interesting. So many of us, or a few people, were thinking that this might actually be a spiritual sequel to Inception, not an actual narrative sequel, in the fact that it messes with time and craziness like that. But what could happen next? I'm not saying that this is a sequel, but it's interesting that they mentioned that he's having preoccupations, including Memento and Interstellar. So I do like that idea, and it's curious nonetheless. Now, Branagh also confirms that the Russian oligarch he is playing is 100% the baddie of the movie, and many of us expected that this might have actually been a misdirect, especially as we've not actually seen the other character played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. Of course, we've seen many of the other characters. Of course, Michael Caine, Elizabeth Debicki, Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, Kenneth Branagh, and of course a few other bit players. But Johnson is in the movie and was confirmed to be now in the second trailer, and is completely unrecognisable and very secretive. It seems his identity is a huge spoiler, but who could he actually be? Well, that is curious, because the only thing I can think of, if time is, or at least inversion is happening, what if he is simply a younger version of Kenneth Branagh? What if he is in some sort of flashback or something like that? Yes, probably not, as time travel isn't what's happening, so it could be someone completely else. Now, also as predicted by us here at SuperHeroNexus, Elizabeth Debicki is playing Branagh's character's estranged wife, who has a very complicated relationship with the protagonist, John David Washington, who is actually called the protagonist in lieu of a name actually being given to him just yet. Most of the names are actually not given in the movie just yet. And maybe they won't reveal the names because there is a big spoiler coming up, and Christopher Nolan has said that there is a huge spoiler in the movie. And it's interesting that he's announced what the technology is, and that is now not a secret, so that the secret may be even bigger than we actually thought. Now, the name Tenet was also sort of explained, other than it being an obvious palindrome. Yes, Tenet is Tenet backwards.
Bruh.
And the name of the secret organization that John David Washington is working for is actually called Tenet. So finally, we get to know what that is actually all about, as they have a word for you, that is Tenet. Robert Pattinson is also joining him and is described as a rascally character who goes about things a different way, while John David Washington is actually the heart of the movie, according to Nolan. So it looks like everything will focus around Washington's character, and of course as well, Elizabeth Debicki's estranged wife of Kenneth Branagh. So that looks really cool there. I'm really excited to see where this actually goes. The movie looks stunning, and I'm very excited to see it. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Are you excited for Tenet and things like that? Are you excited to go back to the cinema? Will you be going back to the cinema? And let me know what you think of my previous video there, the huge deep dive there into the Inhumans franchise. Just a short video here because I am very shattered from doing that video from yesterday, and we will have an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video tomorrow, a Doom Patrol one on Friday, and Saturday will be a Snowpiercer video as well. So that is it. I'll see you soon, and goodbye.